Good morning, Don Keith on the Diary of a Psychotic podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. They're great. That's right. That's my voice. Okay. I do Tony the Tiger. I do all kinds of voices. All right. You can do the most wonderful. That's right. Ren Hulk. What do you mean, you idiot? Okay, now I do a lot of voices. Yes, that's true. Okay, but let's get right back to the point. The point is, the Diary of a Psychotic podcast owes its roots to Jeff Charles, who started the Diary of a Psychotic audio blog on, I think it was, let me think, WHJY. Yeah, he was doing the afternoons in WHJY during the afternoon drive time. That was when major market radio was the thing, okay? No such thing anymore. Major market radio is gone. So is radio, for that matter, and broadcasting. What I'm getting to is this. This is the 5th anniversary of Diary of a Psychotic podcast. Okay, I've been doing it for 5 years. And what it represents is it represents a progressive form of politics. Okay? You don't know what that means. Okay. Well, I can educate you a little bit, okay, in the limited amount of time that I have on these podcasts. And that is, a progressive is somebody who is not regressive. Okay? In other words, taking things away. A progressive is somebody who's adding to the political discourse every day. Saying, no, you got to think this way. No, you got to think this way. No. To go forward, we have to do this. To go forward, we have to do that. Okay? The people who were the best progressives were the people who initiated ideas that were absolutely foreign to everyone else and said, that's never going to work. You know, they would be like, hey, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 2 rights do make an airplane. Okay? You get it? All right, here we go. All right, 4 well-known progressives. They're all on Mount Rushmore. Yeah. I don't see how that lunatic in the White House who's trying to build a ballroom over what used to be the offices of the First Lady. That's right, the East Wing used to be the offices of the First Lady, where she conducted her charities and her appearances. The First Lady's supposed to be appearing on behalf of the president, on behalf of the administration. She's supposed to be the First Lady. She's not supposed to be some trophy wife, squeezed out a couple of kids and still lives in New York City. All right? That's not what the First Lady is. A First Lady reminds me of Jackie Kennedy. First Lady, okay? Betty Ford. A First Lady. Okay? Jill Biden. Yeah, a First Lady. Okay? Hillary Clinton. A First Lady. Okay? Rosalind Carter. A First Lady. Okay? Who's Melania Trump? Huh? What? She's not a First Lady. She doesn't even have any offices anymore. Her husband tore down the East Wing to build a ballroom at our expense. Okay? So, forget what the president's doing, okay? He's not the president anymore. We don't have a president. We have anarchy right now. Chaos. He's not a president. He's an agent of chaos. He's not a progressive, even though he puts his image over Mount Rushmore. How dare you? How dare you? George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Teddy Roosevelt, they were progressives. They believed in change builds a better future. That's what a progressive believes. A progressive believes that change builds a better future. Jeff Charles, progressive. Okay, even though he sounds like an old curmudgeon. That guy's a freaking idiot. That guy's insane. He's not going to be able to bomb. Yeah, Jeff looks a little crazy. Yeah, he looks a little crazy. So did my friend. So did my friend Charles Lacordera. He looked a little crazy. Okay, I look a little crazy. Okay, we're psychotics. People call us psychotics, but we're not really psychotics. We're progressives. Okay, if you can't get with the progressive program, guess where you belong? On the other side of the aisle. That's right, you belong on the other side of the aisle with the rest of the people that are backing up that dumbass in the White House. Okay? Go ahead and vote for him again. Go ahead and vote for those people again, okay? You can't vote for him again because we're not going to let you, we're not going to let him back in office again. 2028, it's over, okay? You got till then to figure out what you're going to do, whether or not you're progressive and you belong on Mount Rushmore, or you're regressive and you belong in the dump, all right? Figure it out. Learn what I'm talking about. Learn what Jeff is talking about. Learn what Charles was talking about. Learn what George Washington was talking about. Learn what Thomas Jefferson was talking about. Learn what Teddy Roosevelt was talking about. Okay? Bully! This has been Don Keith, the Diary of a Psychotic, with our 5th anniversary. Yeah, our 5th anniversary. I don't wear my slurs. Anyway, brought to you by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. They're great!